all these priorities you have will all be blown away one day. Allah tells us, أَيَحْسَبُ الْإِنسَانِ, that it seems that you're forgetting. Do you think that أَلَّا نَجْمَعَ عِظَامَ, that we will not resurrect you again once you pass away? Allah then tells us, بَلَا قَادِرِينَ عَلَىٰ أَن نُسَوِّيَ بَنَانَ. But forget about resurrecting you. Allah first created you from nothing. He created you from nothing. Now for a person who has logic, once Allah created us from nothing, now if Allah has bones, it's way more easier than once we were already created. First thing. And then Allah tells us, I will not only create you again and make you stand in front of me, but we will create you so specifically in the exact same manner you were, بَلَا قَادِرِينَ عَلَىٰ أَن نُسَوِّيَ بَنَانَ, that your fingerprints will even come back to you. Your fingerprints will bring them back to you. And in the tips of your fingers, even they will come back to you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that this is what's going to happen to you. Prepare yourself for that day before it hits you hard. Prepare yourself for that day. Allah is the creator. We have established that He created us. And anyone that doubts it, anyone that rejects the oneness of Allah or the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they can reject the existence of Allah as long as they want, as much as they want. But that doesn't change the facts. The facts don't change. Do you understand? There's a person here, for example, someone very strong in the gathering. I can say, oh man, that guy he's not muscle, he's all fat. I can sit here and say that all I want to, but when he punches me, that's when I'm going to feel the muscle there. Because it's a reality. This guy's big. He goes to the gym. He spends 8 hours there a day. So it's obvious he's going to be big. So I can sit here and say, oh, this person, he's not good at basketball, for example. And I can say all I want to, I can mouth all I want to. But when it comes to the court, when he shames me, it's going to be the fact that yes, he is better than me. So we can badmouth all you want to. But when it comes to the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will find that yes, there is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the person will say that, oh Allah, give me one more moment. Give me one more moment. Oh Allah, give me one more chance. Let me go back one more time. I'll be back. I'll make sure I live my life correctly. Allah will say, my messengers came to you. The truth came to you. You wasted it. Now it's time for you to be wasted. Now watch the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us for a purpose. And let us drill this purpose into our mind and put this in ourselves in such a unique manner. Drill it in so deep that no matter wherever we are, however we are, whenever we're with our friends or with our family, wherever we may be, we know that we were created to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to become servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This was the reason why we were created. No other reason. We were only created to be the servants of Allah. We must be the servants of Allah wherever we are. Whether we're with our family, whether lying with our children, whether sitting with our friends, whether at school, wherever we are, this should be in our mind, that I am the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And always remind yourself that I am the servant of Allah. And then make our actions the actions of those who serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because our body runs against us. Shaitan runs against us. Our desires run against us. And if we don't stand up strong, shaitan will knock us over, our desires will knock us over, our body parts will then be submitted to shaitan and our desires, and before we know it, we're destroyed. This is why Imam Ghazali, the third portion of his book was Rubu' al-Muhtikat, the quarter of those things that destruct a person. The person's anger. If he doesn't control it, it's going to go against him. The afatul lisan, the diseases of the tongue. If you don't control it, it's going to destroy you. The diseases of the private parts. You don't control it, it will destroy you. The temptations of the stomach. You don't control it, it will destroy you. These hands, you don't control it, they will destroy you. These ears, you don't control it, they will destroy you. So first we are being told how to control ourselves. The first part. And then once we've done this, how do we stand up on our feet again? This is the second part, the last portion of Imam Ghazali's book. And this is where Imam Ghazali finishes off his book. He finishes off right here. Imam Ghazali, with this portion of the book, he finishes off that learn these things, adopt these things into your life, and you will be ready to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshaAllah al-Aziz. Always stay focused. The end of today's talk. Who created us? Why were we created? Two questions that should always be in our mind. We always sit down, for example, the father's looking at his baby. He sits down and looks at his baby. Whoa, mashallah, look how amazing the nose is. Look how perfect these cheeks are. Look how beautiful the ears are. The small baby just born. He's looking at the child and he's adoring the child. Or for example, when you buy this new Mercedes or a BMW, look how spanking, man. It's amazing. Look at all the specifications, that this is a cylinder, this is how fast it goes from 0 to 100 in so many seconds, and this is how many miles per gallon it is, and all the specifications. This is the color of it, the metallic color, the rims, and the 24s, and the DVD player I have in there, and the seat covering, and the mats I have, and all these things, the lights and the neons, and he's sitting there, he's looking at the specifications of this car. And then the person that goes to look at the house, he's buying a house, and he's looking at the 2-floor house, and this is where the washroom is, the master bedroom is here, and all the different specifications of the house, and making sure we buy the best thing, we have the best thing. I mentioned this before too. There was one person I knew, he took me once to show me his new house that he built. He didn't buy it, he built it. And when he built this house, he showed me the clock that he had on his wall. And he said to me, how much is this clock worth? I said, I have no idea. Then finally he told me it was worth $5,000. I said, subhanAllah, he bought a clock for $5,000. My $2 clock can tell you the same thing. So we look at the specifications of everything. Why was this, we adore that. We sit there, wow, look at this. A person who has interest in something, he sits there and he adores that. Look how great this is, the computer freak, the computer freak, or the geek, right? I'm sorry, I didn't use that word. Someone who's into computers. They're sitting there and they're looking at the same screen that me and you are looking at that we have no value for at all. It means nothing. And this person's sitting here and he's so excited over the same laptop. Or the laptop, it doesn't look good, or it looks so great. And this person's sitting here thinking, man, this laptop's trash. And he has a laptop that he pulls out, it doesn't look good at all. But inside there he's saying that this laptop is the stuff. So the person who knows the field, or who has interest in something, he knows everything about it. I can wear this coat and someone will tell me that, this coat's out of date. I have no idea. For me, it serves a purpose, it's a good coat. Now the other person's going to sit there and say, those aren't good coats. Or if I'm wearing shoes, or whatever the case may be. The things we have interest in, we know about that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that you have interest in all these things. You know the specifications of everything. The human being, Allah gave you knowledge, Allah gave you a brain, you used it. There's no doubt in that. We did use the brain that Allah gave us. We can go to Dunkin' Donuts, we can go to, IHOP and tell you the 10 different types of pancakes they serve there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the brain, and yes, we did utilize it. We studied everything. We look at the specifications of everything. So where there's good food, where there isn't good food, where's the salad better, where's there's good masala, where's the pan more sweeter, where's it more stronger. We know everything. Allah is not telling us that, why don't you look into the creation of Allah? Why don't we take out a few moments of our life, a few moments of our day, a few moments of our hour, and while we're driving for once, look at the sky and adore it. Because our Allah is the Allah that created it. Look at this earth and adore it. Our Allah is the Allah that created it. For once, when we do something right in our life, when we score that point in the game, or when we win a tournament, or when we do something right in our life, start praising yourself and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving you the ability to do it. Once you make profit on your business, stop for a moment and praise Allah for giving you the ability to do it. We must now become the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Program ourselves to become the true servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the last portion that we discuss, inshaAllah, that we will start next week, is the reviver of the believer. The reviver of the believer. From the secrets of the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The way to Jannah. How we go to Jannah. From the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What pathway do we take? How do we revive ourselves? These are the things that we will discuss next week, inshaAllah al-Aziz. Starting right from the bottom. That me and you are now stuck in this mud. How do we get up? How do I stand up? Which things do I use to lean on while I'm standing up? Once I'm standing, what do I do next? Where do I go next? What's the next thing I have to do? The entire guideline. The entire guideline, the whole pathway. Inshallah, this is the thing that we will begin to discuss next week. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all the ability to benefit from these gatherings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gather us together in this world with good. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all death with iman, the kalima la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the gathering of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hereafter. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.